All right, today, before we get started today, hello YouTube land. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, all that stuff. You're gonna gain some weight today. That's right. All right, hello YouTube land. Today, I'm hopefully going to put some liquid ballast in the rear tires of the 2025R. Because it's light when you don't have anything back there. And I know some of you at least have seen and commented on the trash can ballast that I have. If you're not familiar with that, I took a 30-gallon trash can, I think, 30-some gallon trash can, filled it with concrete, put a pipe through it, and it hooks right onto my eye match right here and works like a charm. But the downfall is it is big and bulky and it hangs down really low. And a lot of the times I don't need that much weight, because I haven't weighed it, but I put, now I can't remember, 7 80-pound bags of concrete in it. There's somewhere around 8, maybe 6, I don't know, something like that. But I think it weighs between 600 and 700 pounds. So it's a decent amount of weight and works great. You know, like when I'm digging and stuff, I've got it on there all the time. But when I'm doing yard work and stuff, I don't need that much weight. And especially if the yard's wet, you know, that much more weight just makes the tractor tracks that much more prominent. And I want to keep the yard without tracks in it. So that's my thought. So I'm going to put the liquid in the tires. I'm going to use water. I know people are going to be like, well, it's going to freeze. Well, keep the tractor in a garage that doesn't freeze. So, and to be quite honest, if it's below freezing outside, I'm probably going to only be pushing snow in our driveway, and that takes a few minutes. I'm not going to be outside long term, so I don't foresee it being an issue. But if this does work well, and I am assuming it does, but I haven't been able to get a place around here that does the rim guard, which is what I ultimately want. I think it's a little heavier than just regular water and stuff. So just to see how this works, if it works well, I'll probably get that put in it. So I don't really know what I'm doing, so don't listen to me. You can, I don't know. I'm just going with it. So we'll see how it works. But now I'm going to show you what I got and kind of tell you what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do this. So first and foremost, I bought me a Superior pump off of Amazon. I don't remember how much it cost. I think it was like 40 bucks maybe, so not too bad. I bought this little hose here, and then I bought this little kit. It's a tire valve adapter kit. So it's got a bunch of different sizes and stuff, and then you've got the garden hose adapter, and you can put those 2 adapters on there depending what size you need for your tire valve stem. And I bought this, just a bunch of different male and female adapters for garden hoses. I don't know if I will need it, but I remember when I bought this stuff, I wasn't sure if I would need any more adapters. So just in the essence of not having to be missing something, I bought them. And ultimately I forgot that I probably would need a tire valve removal tool, which I don't know if I have. So I'm gonna go look for one of those. But otherwise, after I get that, I'll start putting things together. But basically, I've got my bucket there. I'm gonna fill it with water. I've got my pump. I'm gonna put it in there before I fill it, plug it in, and then hook this up to that. Probably let a little bit of air out before I start pumping in. My plan is to let the air out until I can still see the tire, going down. Stop, that'll give us enough room for the fluid, and then just see how it goes. Kind of trial and error, basically. But yeah, I'm gonna go look for a tire valve removal tool thing, my bobber, and hopefully I've got one. regardless, I will see you shortly. All right, I'm back. So as I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I do have a removal tool that I have had for 800 million years. So, FYI, you'll see a little bit in the video, but I didn't record a ton of it. But one thing that I learned, a very big lesson, was I needed to jack up the the tractor, get the weight off the tire before I let air out of it, because I let too much out of it. Didn't mean to, wasn't planning on letting that much out, but you know, you learn as you go. So I let too much air out of it, and the tire came off the rim, which was a real terrible situation. But luckily, I had that happen before on a different vehicle mobile that was a pain in the butt to get back on. So ultimately what I used was a ratchet strap. I just strapped it around the whole tire in the center of the tire and ratcheted it down, put a bunch of pressure on it until the air was able to take and pop it back onto the bead. Because you know, if you're familiar with tractor tires, they're not sealed to the bead like an automobile tire is, like a car tire, and they don't pop back on as easy. So ultimately that's what I did. All right. Don't want to lose that. So what I'm going to do is put the pump in here, get everything hooked up, and then just fill this up with water, pump it all in there, and see how many of those I do on this side, and I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so this little hoodus screws onto there. Pretty straightforward, like a regular garden hose connection. And then one of the adapters is the one that fits this. So that goes on there. So right now, easy as pie. All right, update. I'm taking the valve stem out and just gonna let the tire go flat. I'm gonna pump it as full as I can with the valve stem out and probably just call that good. Who knew? It wouldn't even go flat. How about that? Get that out of the water back there. Okay. Got that covered up because it was splashing a little bit. Okay, had a little issue. Jack your tractor up, because if you let too much air out, the tractor tire comes off the wheel, and that is a real pain in the rear end to get back on, which I did by a ratchet strap wrapped around the tire and then aired it back up. So now I've got it off the wheel, so hopefully it won't pop off the bead. Try to put I've got well, I don't know how much I got in there because everything from here out leaked out, so I've got about that much in there now. So I'm gonna fill it another 5-gallon bucket and see where that gets me, and go from there. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop this. Okay. I'm being very scientific to see how much I've got in there. Right around there. So like I said, I don't know how many. Well, it was 2 full 5-gallon buckets, and then like I said, the rest leaked out except for what was right down in here. So I don't know how much that actually is. Hopefully I can get a better reading from the other side. Now I'm gonna air tire back up. Put about 30 pounds in it, I think. I don't know. Okay. That's it. Yeah, so that's how I did her. How I did her. All right, so right now I'm letting the air out. Let's fill this up. And ideally, this one goes a little faster and smoother. A little spit won't hurt anything. this up. The part that goes on the valve stem does not hook up very well, so it leaks. And also, I'm making sure to keep this out of the liquid. Air from tires smells so terrible. Bucket number 2. The aftermath. Good news is, it didn't take long to do once I figured out how to do it. So basically, I took out the valve stem. I jacked the tractor up on that side I was working on, took out the valve stem, let the air go out, hooked up the pump and stuff, which I already showed you, filled the 5-gallon bucket, pumped it down to the bottom, refilled it. The one I actually got a good measurement on, I think it was around 3 buckets full. So, you know, that was with the pump in there displacing water, so it wasn't a full 5 gallons each time. And I think it's about up to here, so about 3/4 full. So I think that's what the max you're supposed to really do. But yeah, I'm out of time, so I'm gonna go at some other time. I'm gonna measure to make sure the tires are pretty close to equal, but they sound like they are. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Have a good one.